Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello and welcome. My name is Dan Barton, and welcome to today's very quick hangout. Now, I just need to make sure that we're broadcasting okay. Yep, we are. Hi everybody. We're going to do a really quick hangout today, simply because I just want to concentrate on one topic that seems to be troubling one or two people. I've had quite a few questions about it over the past couple of days, and so I just want to sort of nail exactly what it is that I do when I'm setting up the bots. Now, we've had a bit of a hiccup with connections with our trading partner, which is with our binary options partner, which is Pocket Options, over the past few days. So what I've done is I've just taken the opportunity to clear down all my bots. So I've got no demo and no live bots running currently. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to set those up live online with you basically this evening. So hopefully you can see exactly what it is I'm doing, why it is I'm doing it, and obviously a bit of theory behind what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And of course, if you've got any questions, then you want to make sure that you're popping them in the right hand side, whichever side it is that you're looking at. There's a comments section there, so if you want to put any comments in there, any questions in there, then please put them on there. All I would say is we're really going to be tight on time. I have to cut off at around about 6:30 because I have to go and do that dreaded Christmas shopping. It's the only time I've got this week, so I need to go and do that this evening. So I need to be out of here by about 6:45. So we've got about half an hour in order to get everything nailed. So if you've got questions, get them in quick and early. If I can answer them tonight, I will do. If I can't, then obviously I will I'll make them public. I'll make the answers public somewhere, so you actually get those answers as well. Okay, and obviously anything that's technical, I can't answer anything that's technical. I can only answer questions about the setting of the box. So obviously, if you've got technical questions, then obviously you need to obviously send those in as a support ticket. Right. Why should you spend the next 30 minutes watching what I do? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to show you basically how my bots have been performing over the past few weeks. So hopefully you'll find this of interest. Now I just need to do a screen share, which usually means me having to be quiet. There we go. There we are. Okay, so let's go over to Zukul accounts. This is my live Zukul account, so you can see it's all live. We're on our live bots section here. You can see I've got no active bots here. I've got no active bots in the demo section. So if we go over to archive, you can see that I had 123 active bots trading with real cash. And let me just zoom in on this for you so you can see it a little bit easier. So you can see here on the right hand side, for those of you who are not used to looking at these, this is the area that shows the profit, and obviously a blue box is profitable, a red box would be a loss. So as you can see, as I just scroll down, got a loss here. But mostly most of these bots, as you can see, a couple of reds there, but as you can see, most of them are in the blue color of the blue persuasion. Okay, so as you can see, I might have something working for me, and it might be worth your while, like I say, spending the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes just watching what I do. If you want to go do this live as we're going along, then that's fine. And also, what I need to bear in mind, is that these aren't recommendations that you are going to make a profit over the next period of time. Okay, all I'm going to be showing you today is exactly how I set my bots up. Okay, yes, you're looking at bots which are profitable, and I try to minimize the risk, and obviously I want to go for bots that are going to be profitable, but I cannot guarantee that every single bot that I set up is going to be profitable. As you'll see in some of these bots here, if I just go back to my archive, and obviously what I'll need to do is screen share again. Give me a moment. So if I go back to the archive here, you'll notice that, look, this bot has actually lost money before it started to make a profit. And I didn't let it make too much profit. I just, as soon as it got to profit, I basically just came in and obviously just stopped all these bots. But you can see here, this has made a loss before it went into profit. This has made a loss before it went into profit. So just because I'm setting my bots up doesn't necessarily mean, or if you follow exactly how I set my bots up, doesn't mean that where you'll wake up tomorrow morning in, with hundreds of dollars of profit. You might do, but equally you might not. So, I'm showing you this as a guide in a way that I've shown that consistently over a period of time, I've been able to basically make profit using these bots. And when I say me make profit, it's not me that's making profit, it's the bots that I'm setting up, getting the settings right, and then allowing the bot to do its work. So again, let me just go back to screen share. Again, just to try and give you guys a little bit of context. So where are we? So here is, now we started this account, I think it was about $100, I forget now, it was a few weeks ago. $116 is the figure that's in my head at the moment. And obviously you can see we've now built that up over the past few weeks, obviously trading using the bot. And we've had a slow week today, this week with the bot, because we've obviously had some teething and connection problems with Pocket Option. But as you can see, we're not doing too bad. And I'm actually going to show you what I will do now with this trading balance and how I set up my trading balances, my budgets, my bet sizes. I'm going to show you absolutely everything. So, so we'll do that straight away. So let me just open this up. And I've done a very quick breakdown for you guys. Now, if you've got pen and paper, brilliant, you can write this down. If you haven't got pen and paper, obviously you can pause the recording and come back to this bit if you don't quite understand it. But again, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys understand exactly the way that I set everything up, the way that my mind works, if you like. So we've talked about our total trading balance. Now, I've just shown you the balance that we've got in the Pocket Options at the moment. I'm going to start it. I'm going to make it $500. I know it's 590 whatever, but we're going to say it's $500. And the reason I'm doing that is so that depending on whatever your live balances are, you can either flex these figures up or flex them down. It's really entirely up to you. And the figures that I'm going to show you are not set in stone. It's about working through these figures and feeling and working with what feels comfortable for you. Okay. So our total trading balance, I've referenced it as TTB, is $500. That's how much I've got, let's say, in my Pocket Options account. Now, the daily trading balance, so this is how much I'm using to actually trade with my bots. I'm never, ever going to be using the total $500. And that may be a mistake that some of you guys have been making. I will only ever risk 20% of my total trading balance. Now, what is 20% of $500? Again, just to make sure that I'm not leaving anybody behind, this is the calculation. It's $500. You divide it by 100 and then multiply it by 20. So basically, you're dividing 100, you're finding out what 1% is, and then you multiply it by the 20%, and that will give you a daily trading balance of $100. So that means that I'm only ever going to risk today $100 of my trading balance. Okay, that's the maximum I'm willing to risk. So my daily trading balance, or my DTB, is going to be 20% of my total trading balance. So in this scenario, it's going to be about $100. Now, of that $100, okay, remember we've got the ability to set 3 live bots. So my total risk or budget, whichever way you want to think about it, per bot is going to be 30%. And yes, I've rounded this down. It would be 33% or 33.9999% or whatever. And I'm going to trade it with 30% of whatever my daily trading balance is. Why am I doing that? Was because I've got 3 bots. So I need to split this amount of risk over the 3 bots. Again, just underline the fact that's $100 divided by the 3 bots. That's approximately $30 per bot. And yes, I have rounded that down. Okay. So I'm going to risk $30 per bot. Now my bet size is always going to be dependent on what I'm personally comfortable with. Okay. So my bet size could be $1, in which case I could have up to 30 losses to eat up that total risk, which is unlikely. Okay, I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but it's unlikely. Okay, I could use a bet size of $2, which means I've got the potential to lose up to 15 losses. Okay, that's 15 straight losses without any wins. Again, it's unlikely. I'm not going to say that it's never, ever, ever going to happen, because it has happened to me, but it's not going to happen very often. Okay, or I could go with a bet size of $3, which means that I could lose up to 10 straight losses before I eat up my total risk, if you like. Okay, this can happen. Okay, and I think some of you guys may have experienced this, in the past week. Okay, it can happen. Again, does it happen often? Not very often, but it will happen. So again, it's about you making a judgment call on where you're comfortable. Okay, I'm not going to say that you must have $1, $2, or $3. It's where you are personally comfortable with. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We started with $500. We're actually going to set our bots up using $30 per bet. Okay. Now, as far as our risk is concerned, okay, we're happy with that. But what is our profit target? What are we going to go for before we close the bot down or start to compound the profits that we've made? Now, I've just chosen an arbitrary figure of 50%. Okay, I have no reasoning behind that. Absolutely have no reasoning behind that. It's just a figure that I've chosen, and it seems to work for me. Okay, you may want to experiment with that. You may want to do 100%. You may want to do 25%. It really is entirely up to you. My profit target, okay, is generally 50% of whatever my risk amount is. Okay, again, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So we've taken our $30 risk here. We've divided it by 100 to find out what 1% is. We've then multiplied it by 50 to get 50%. And that gives us a nice round dollar figure, which is $15. So we're going to risk $30 to get $15 profit. So therefore, the settings that I'm going to be working with today, okay, is I'm going to use a budget of $30. I'm going to be using a profit target of $15. I'm going to be using an initial bet size of $1, and I'm going to be compounding. Once I hit that profit target, I'm going to use 80% of that profit to then continue trading, and obviously the bet size will increase. Now, will I get over a lot of bets over 15%? Will I get a lot of bots which are carrying on trading once it hits its $15? Yes, I will. I will get bots which will continue to trade even though I'm limiting the loss. But I just want to make sure that I'm capturing some of this profit. Okay, so hopefully, guys, that is making a bit of sense to you. Now, let me get out of this. I'll move that there. There we go. So why am I using? Why have I not got my calculator? I've lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about then, guys? Oh yes, 15. So $15 doesn't sound very much, okay? You're not going to get rich over $15, but $15 is actually 3% of $500, okay? How do you work that out? Well, 15 divided by 500 times 100 okay, 3%. Now you've got 3 bots running, okay. Now not all of them are going to hit 15% every single day, $15 every single day, but some of them will. Some of them will go higher, some of them will be going lower. But remember that information that I've shared with you over and over again about only going for like 5% growth every single day, and how much that will compound into over the course of 6, 9 and 12 months. It's phenomenal. Okay, so we're going for small, consistent, manageable, achievable profits, and we're going to be doing that every single day over the course of at least 5 days. We may get lucky and get over 7 days, but generally we're going to be hitting 5 days of profit of between $3 and maybe $9, 3% and maybe 9% consistently over the course of those 5 days. Okay, so let me just come back to the Hangout. So have I left anybody behind? Does anybody have any questions based on what I've gone through already? Now is your opportunity before we actually get stuck into doing some setting some bots up. So while you listen to what I'm saying, I'm just going to have a quick drink. No, so I'm assuming that we've got no questions. Everybody understands the basis of setting up their budgets, as it were. Okay, right, brilliant. Right, we're now going to crack on over to our setting up our bots. Now I use this here. Now this is a screen capture bit of software. I use Chrome, and if you go into extensions, you can look for screen capture. I don't know what it's called. It's just what it. Let me just do a screen capture and just see if it comes up with the name of it. Full page screen capture. I don't know what it's called. You'll be able to look for it. It's in Chrome extensions. It's free. And basically what it will do is that it will scroll and capture the whole page. Okay, so you don't need any fancy damn software in order to do it. Like I say, if you're using Chrome, you've got the extension. If you're using another browser, then I presume those browsers will have similar extensions that you can use. And why do I use that? Well, let me show you. We're going to go over to our View Stats section. And what I'm going to do for ease is I'm just going to use the cryptocurrencies. We do have the option of doing fiat currencies, commodities, and stocks. But again, from the point of view of consistency across the Hangouts and the training that we're doing, I'm just going to stick with cryptocurrencies. So I'm going to click on that tab just to isolate those. And as I've mentioned on other currencies, on the other Hangouts that we've done, is that I tend to use this box here more often than anything else. And what I try to do is I always go with strategy A to begin with. I go through all of the strategies, but obviously strategy A is the one to go with first. I also choose 100 for the algorithm, simply because that is the one that I end up having or getting close to using most of the time. Sometimes it'll end up being 80 or 30 or something like that. But from a starting point of, I always use 100, and I always use 11 as my formula. Again, this is just a strategy that I'm using at the moment on this particular case study that I'm running, and it's being particularly successful. So, if it's not broken, why fix it? So, so that's what's working for me at the moment. Now, in choosing those settings, you'll know obviously that all of these now are set at strategy A, algorithm 100, formula 11. And you can see that there's quite a lot of detail. There's quite a lot which are showing really profitable 3-day sections. Okay. And again, without teaching you how to suck eggs, we know that over these 3 days, you've got the 18th, the 17th, and the 16th. We know that the 16th is Sunday. Okay, so any figures that I see on a Sunday or a Saturday, I take with a pinch of salt. But wouldn't it be useful if I could also see the figures for perhaps last Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, so I could see if there is some sort of consistency between the numbers? So let me have a look at, so we've got NXT here, for example. Okay, so you can see here on Sunday it was showing on these settings it used a budget of $4, but it achieved a profit of 11. Used 4, it achieved a profit of 12. Used 2, achieved a profit of 10. So those look broadly in line. But wouldn't it be good if we could have a look at what happened towards the end of last week? Well, guess what? We can do it by doing screenshots, by using this little thing. So by coming up to the top, using this little button, it will now take, basically, it'll scroll through and take a screenshot. Now, it may be a little bit slower in doing that because obviously I'm running Hangout using YouTube software, so my computer might be a little bit slow, but you can see what it's doing. It's just scrolling through, taking a screenshot, and that is that whole page. Now, what I can do is I can download it and I can save it to my computer. And guess what I did? That's what I've done. Okay. So this, as you can see here, I don't know whether you can see at the top here, but it says Sunday, which was the day that I screenshotted it, strategy A. I don't need to put any more information because all the other settings are going to be the same. And so now we can scroll down to NXT. Okay. And remember now, so this was just go to the top. So we screenshot this on the 16th. Okay, so we're now looking at data on the 15th, the 14th, and the 13th. So you guys, I took the screenshot on the 16th. So we're now looking at information. Important information for us will be the 13th and the 14th, because that's Thursday and Friday. Okay, so we're going to look at Thursday and Friday on our screenshot page, and then we're going to look at Monday and Tuesday on our live page. So here we go. So we've got NXT. Budget of $3 produced a $9 profit. Budget of $3 produced a $10 or $11 profit. But look what happened Saturday. Okay, basically, it nearly wiped out those 2 days of profit. Yeah. So this is one of those things that I want you to be aware of, is that you can have a bot running really well, okay, but then you can have an absolute shocking day. So you can see here, it did well on Thursday, did well on Friday, had a shocking day on Saturday, and you could have been tempted to just cut your losses and basically shut down that bot. But then if you look at what actually happened, where are we at NXT? Lost it. So this is our live screen. So again, on Sunday, what happened? It actually produced a profit. Monday, it produced a profit, and obviously Tuesday, it produced a profit. So it made a profit of $34 over those 3 days, and it made $6 here. So it made $40 over the course of, say, a week, and that was just with $1 bets. Okay, so imagine if you had set your bot up here. Okay, you'd have had a pretty good run at it. You'd have come out into Sunday with about $6 profit. You would have then continued running over Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You would have woke up on Tuesday morning looking at around about $40 profit on that NXT. So the point I'm labouring here, and hopefully the penny's starting to drop with some of you, is that by doing these screenshots, you're now able to have a look at your particular interested pairing in a little bit more detail. Now, not only have I done it for strategy A, we could now look at NXT for strategy B, which proves, shows even better performance. And guess what? I did do a screenshot on the Sunday using strategy B. Let's just have a look at this. Sorry, I didn't. It's the same one, but strategy A on there. Oh, you know what, guys? I may have dropped a clanger there, because you can see here I've got strategy A. All the same here. Right, well, I haven't got it on there. So that wasn't a good example for you. But again, what I want to show you, underline the fact is that you can obviously screenshot these. And what I've done is I now keep them here. So you see here, I've got Sundays, I've got Mondays, I've got Tuesdays, and obviously today what I'll do is I'll add Wednesdays on here. So I can now start to build up that picture for those strategies. Okay, so strategy A and B look pretty good for NXT, and strategy C looks pretty good as well. So NXT looks a fairly safe bet, and what really interests me is that it's profitable across all strategies. So it doesn't really matter which strategy it's using, you're going to be making profit by the look over the past 3 days on here, and then by looking at last week here as well, we could make an assumption that we would have made profit as well last week. So the first one I'm going to go with is NXT. So how do I do it? I click select. Okay. Wait for our little box to pop up. I'm going to go with strategy B actually on this one. So I'm going to put in B 100 because that's the strategy and the algorithm I'm going to use. Okay, change that to B. My default for the hours is always going to be 720, which is basically a month. And I'm going to set this as live. Okay. Now you can choose higher risk if you want. If you want to do that, you can do. I'm going to choose it for this one. I'm going to leave the formula as it is. I'm going to change budget, as we've already explained. What did we say? It was going to be 30. Profit we're going to go for is 15. I'm going to choose the smart compound. Sorry, my computer is running really slow. I'm going to choose the split here. So it means that I want to use 80% of the profit of this 15 here. Okay, I want to continue using up to 80% of that to continue trading. Now what will happen, for those of you unsure about what it is that I've done here, is that I'm setting the bot to trade knowing that I'm risking $30. I'm happy to lose $30 in the hope that I'm going to make a profit of $15. Once the bot makes a profit of $15, it will then increase this first bet amount from $1. It'll double it. Okay, it'll increase it to $2, and it will now use 80% of that $15 to continue trading. So it'll leave me with something like $3 profit that it will never ever touch. Okay, so basically I'll come out of this with at least $3 profit if it hits that $15. But obviously I could come out with a lot more if it continues to then obviously keep hitting its new profit target, because not only will it increase the bet amount by 2 times, it will increase the profit target by 2 times. So it will then set a retarget of from $15, it will then go to $30, then to $60, then to $120, and so on. And each time it does that, it will obviously reset the first bet amount as well. I believe the deviation and the candles exactly as it is, and I'm going to save that. Okay, we like that. So that's gone in. Click that blue button thing, and hopefully it will now set live. Now I'm just going to come quickly back to the Hangout just to see if there are any questions. If there are any, I'm mindful that we're coming up to nearly the half hour. So if there's any questions, guys, you need to get them in now. Don't see any at the moment, so I'm assuming we're okay. So we're going to plow on. That was the first one. So we're now going to look at another one. Oh, sorry. As you can see, my computer is really, really slow. That might help making things up there. Pause for thought. Go on to cryptocurrencies again. We will choose strategy A again. And remember, I start off with strategy A, and then when I find something that looks profitable, I'll then look at it in detail, going through the 3 strategies. And obviously then I may also look at the algorithms as well. Algorithm 100, formula. Mix up. There must be a lot of people in my street doing internet orders. My internet is really slow. Okay, so let's just quickly scroll down, see if there's anything else. The Stella looks quite good. Oops, skip past that. Stella looks quite good, in so much as what I'm looking at is the budget amount is consistent really across the all of them there. This is markedly lower than these 2. Okay, and like I say, I would always take a weekend figures with a pinch of salt. But it looks okay. It's one that I might look at in demo if I didn't have anything better to look at. Gain credits jumps out at me. Obviously this one looks, I mean, it's only $3 more. It's $4 more here, as in profit on that Sunday. But you can see here that Monday and Tuesday look pretty good, and the budgets don't look way out. And if we look at our screenshot for gain credits, wasn't it? Credits, there we go, gain credits. So you can see here with strategy A, algorithm 100, didn't perform particularly well towards the end of the week. So we perhaps won't look at that one. Sire coin, really poor Sunday in relation to what happened on Monday and Tuesday. They had a really good Monday and Tuesday. Let's have a look at what Sire coin did. Thursday and Friday. Thursday was good. Friday was a shocker, relatively speaking. Saturday pulled it round. Okay, but because of that there, if that was the other way round, you see, I'd be tempted to take the Saturday with a pinch of salt, rightly or wrongly. I'll move on from side coin. I've just done NXT. Ethereum BTC. Now, I had a nightmare with this over the weekend. In fact, I lost a lot of my growth on Ethereum over the weekend. Did really well at the beginning of the week, last week, and then it seemed to lose it on the Saturday. Yeah, here you go. Lost it on the Saturday, and then seemed to claw it back on the Sunday. Yeah, it must have been towards the end of Sunday evening it started to come back. Yeah, but Thursday, Friday, really good. That was really good for me, Thursday, Friday. And then you can see here, Monday and Tuesday, really good. So I'd be tempted to have a look at this one, but probably I would run it in demo until I felt a bit more confidence in it, and then I might switch it over to live, one of my live bots. I might want to swap some of those around. XMR and ZEC BTC. Now these proved to be really good at the beginning of the week, but then over the weekend you can see that they didn't do so well. Yeah, see here, really struggled on Saturday and Sunday, but beginning of the week they were flying really well. Okay, so I'm going to try and find one more for you. Cash looks good, but it's really corrupted in my view because of this Sunday number. Okay, Metaverse. This looks low, but look at Monday and Tuesday. Look good, don't they? Metaverse. How was it last week? I didn't do so well on Friday. Did okay Saturday, and I know it did really well during the week. So I'm going to go with Metaverse. So I'm going to choose Metaverse. Oops, let me just cancel that out, sorry, because what I didn't do was look at the strategies. So we've got it on strategy A at the moment. Let's just see what happens when I look at strategy B and C. Put strategy B in. So you can see it jumped up again. So if we can have a look at strategy C. Now I'm going to make this one the last one, guys. Hopefully you're getting the idea. So you can see it drops down a little bit here. So I'm going to go with strategy B. Okay. I'm going to click select so our little pop-up box comes along. I'm going to go with B100 again. Go into live. So 20. And it's at high risk. And I go with 30. Go with 15. Go with smart compound. And obviously go with the 80% split. Okay, and everything else is the same. I'm going to click go. So there we go. So there's two bots that we've got set up. I'll be looking at Neo BTC, I'd look at sentiment, and I'd also look at IOTA as well. Those are ones which, like I say, over a period of time, if I go to my archives, over a period of time, those are, you can see here, the types of cryptos that I'm trading on a consistent basis. So you can see that you tend to get a feel for, Sentiment Network has done pretty well for me. So yeah, the Sentiment Network is generally a good one to go with. Okay, again, you would need to check your settings and make sure that you're happy with the way everything looks before you actually press the button on that. Okay, so let's just quickly come back to the Hangout. Right, questions very quickly, guys. Chris, also what? Is there a preliminary question? No, there isn't. Okay, so also, what determines you choosing the higher risk setting on your bots? Right, so what determines the there we go, there we are. The high risk. Basically, the higher risk is I will trade higher risk Monday to Friday. Okay, that's generally what I do. And then at the weekend I switch it off unless I see what do you call it, sort of a stagnant up and down zigzag type affair, and then I may go into the high risk. It really depends if I've got the time to keep bobbing into the bot every now and again. And basically the higher risk means that the bot will trade when there is a bull run or a bear run noticeable on the charts. Otherwise, it won't enter those markets. It will allow the market to settle down before going into those trades. So that is what the high risk does. Like I said, the only thing I tend to put high risk on ones that I've traded with before for quite a while. So Sentiment Network and Metaverse, that type of thing. If I feel confident that a high risk is a decent strategy after doing it through demo, then that's what I'll do. But I have a tendency to switch it off over the weekend and only switch it on if I see sort of stagnant results over say 36 hours. I may switch it back on again. But I'm quite cautious at the weekend with the higher risk. So hopefully that answers the question. Simply, I've tested it in demo and I know the pairings that I like to run higher risk on it. So it works more often than not for me on the settings that I look at. That's really all I can say. So Jürgen is saying, don't you check the algorithms anymore? I do if I'm looking to really, really fine tune something, but generally I start with the 100 algorithm, simply because, as you can see, the number of bots that I've run is that I tend to like the ones which are around about the 100 mark. I will obviously go back to sort of 80, 70, 50 or whatever if I want to really, really fine tune something, or I'm doing a pairing that I'm not familiar with. So if I was going to do fiat to fiat, then I would definitely be looking at those algorithms until I felt comfortable as to where the algorithm would be. I would probably be more cautious on fiat to fiat currencies. So I'd probably be looking at sort of your 30s, 20s, and 10s on that algorithm to try and keep it tighter. But again, it's all about practice and experience. And like I said, the way that I like to trade, that's where I tend to be. Yeah, what exactly? So Jürgen's asking again, what exactly is happening if we choose smart compound and don't set a percentage at the budget split level? Okay, so I've set a profit target of $15. So hopefully I've explained that if I use the split percentage, I'm allowing the bot to continue to use a bit of that profit, but I'm telling the bot that I want to make sure that he banks a good percentage of that profit for me and never uses it. If I never use that split percentage, what I'm telling the bot is to do the compounding, increase the profit to the next level, increase the bet size, but I'm still telling the bot that it's now got carte blanche to use all of that profit plus use my original budget. So in that case, it would be using the 15 and it would also be using the 30 that was the original budget. Now, that, again, you might be really happy with that, or you might not be. It's entirely up to you, but that's why it's split that way, or in those different boxes and those different settings. Why didn't you choose auto duplicate? Simply because I'm doing a different strategy. I'm looking for bots which will run and run and run. Now you can do with that auto duplicate, but the problem with an auto duplicate is that as soon as your bot produces a loss and then hits your stop loss, then it will not duplicate, because obviously it doesn't want to duplicate a losing bot, so it will just stop. Whereas I believe that if in this strategy is that I want the bot to experience those drops, but also experience be in the bot long enough to then experience the big profits which come along. That's the reason. It's just a slightly different strategy, that's all. Andre, do you check the chart of assets in Pocket Option before you set your bot? I do if it's, again, a pairing that I'm unfamiliar with. So if I'm doing NASDAQ versus the Japanese yen, so if I'm doing New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen, then yes, I'll have a look at all the information that I can get a hold of. Now, not so much, because I'm quite comfortable with the way that the bot trades cryptocurrencies on the pairings that I look at. I look at about a dozen in depth over the past 3 months, so I've got a fairly good handle on those 12 that I really like to trade with. If those become unavailable, then I'll want to add new ones to it. Then yeah, of course, I'll look at as much information as I can, and obviously I practice all of that in demo mode before I then go into live mode. Okay. Andre, do you? Yes, so I've answered that question. Right, guys, I am late. I need to go and do my shopping. So hopefully you found that useful. If you do have any additional questions or anything like that, then obviously you can drop me a Facebook. And I don't go on there as often as other people. I probably go on there every couple of days or something like that. So don't expect an immediate answer, but I will obviously try and answer the questions if there's anything that I'm unsure of. Okay. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate your attendance. And obviously, like I say, if there's anything that you want to know any further, then by all means, please let me know. I'm just trying to find the disconnect button. There we go. All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.